Awaken. What if the power you've been searching for isn't hidden in distant temples or sacred texts, but locked away in the depths of your own soul? Imagine a force so ancient and potent that, once unleashed, it shatters every limit you've ever known. Are you ready to discover the secret key that has lain buried within you since the dawn of time, and finally unlock the God within? Have you ever felt a whisper, just beyond the edge of consciousness, calling you towards something far greater than yourself? Imagine unlocking a power so profound it shatters every limitation you've ever believed in. Today, you stand at the threshold of a revelation, the last video you'll ever need to unlock the God within you. Picture an ancient temple hidden beneath shifting sands, its carved pillars echoing with the footsteps of priestesses and sages who communed with celestial intelligences. Their secret? They remembered that the divine isn't a distant deity but the dormant spark within every soul. For millennia, this knowledge has been obscured, confined to cryptic scrolls, whispered in secret groves, and concealed behind layers of dogma. But now, in this moment, the veil begins to lift. In the next few minutes, we will journey through corridors of forgotten wisdom, tracing the lineage of inner divinity from the priest-kings of Atlantis to the mystic seers of ancient India. You will discover why the path to your own godhood was hidden, and why it's meant for you alone to reclaim. But this isn't just another philosophical lecture. Together, we will unravel a living blueprint, mapping the precise keys that awaken the luminous consciousness sleeping within you. We will learn why true power is never about domination, but about alignment, with your deepest truth, with the cosmic rhythms, and with the sacred geometry that underpins all creation. By the end of this video, you won't simply understand a concept, you will be primed to experience it. You'll hold practical rituals drawn from the vaults of antiquity, accompanied by modern techniques to integrate this divine current into your everyday life. So, if you're ready to shatter illusion, to transcend the confines of your mind, and to stand in the radiant fullness of your own divinity, stay with me. The keys are within reach. The time is now. And the God within you is stirring. Long before our modern era, whispers of an inner divinity drifted across the cradle of civilization. In the ruins of Sumer, clay tablets speak of the Anunnaki who imparted to select kings the secret of Puutu, that which is hidden within. This sacred knowledge surfaced again in the emerald courts of Egypt, where the pharaohs clad in lapis lazuli walked corridors inscribed with the words of Thoth, teaching that every human heart bore a spark drawn from the cosmic mind itself. Across the Mediterranean, Pythagoras, himself an initiate of hidden Egyptian mysteries, built a brotherhood on the principle that number and harmony were not mere mathematics, but living vibrations echoing our own divine resonance. He taught that by aligning one's soul to the music of the spheres, one could awaken faculties that transcended the physical senses. Yet, as empires rose and fell, these teachings retreated into shadows, guarded by initiates in cloisters, passed in allegory through the works of Plato, hidden in cryptic alchemical treatises, or veiled in the Sibylline prophecies. In the East, the Vedic seers of India revealed an identical truth. Atman, the self, was no isolated ego, but the very essence of Brahman, the all-encompassing absolute. Through rigorous tapas and meditative discipline, sages pierced the illusion of separateness, finding that the boundless consciousness they experienced was not beyond, but the innermost core of their being. Yet the full flowering of these doctrines was often shrouded in Sanskrit sutras dense with metaphor, accessible only to those who completed years of strict preparatory rites. Why was such potent wisdom repeatedly consigned to secrecy? Because, like fire, inner divinity can both illuminate and consume. Untrained, the aspirant risks grandiosity, ego inflation, or dissociation. Unworthy, one may exploit spiritual authority for personal gain. Thus, across Egypt's desert temples, India's forest hermitages, and the Greek academies, masters instituted layers of initiation, each threshold a test of character, purity, and readiness to bear such power responsibly. By the Middle Ages, fragments of these ancient streams found new vessels: the Hermetic Brotherhood in Alexandria, the Sufi mystics in Baghdad, and the Kabbalistic circles in medieval Spain. Through poetic symbol, cryptic cipher, and parable, they kept alive the promise that within every human breast lay the blueprint of a god. Yet with the rise of institutionalized religion and the Inquisition's fervor, much of this legacy was driven underground, or into allegory so dense that the uninitiated could scarcely recognize its meaning. Today, in an age of unprecedented information yet spiritual amnesia, the inner divinity has become myth or metaphor to most. Modern psychology speaks of self-actualization, science explores higher states of consciousness, and new thought movements echo fragments of the old ways, but rarely do they reveal the systematic keys once handed down in ancient temples and hidden orders. The result is a collective forgetting. We know our potential is vast, but we lack the detailed map to chart our own awakening. In this section, we have traced the lineage of this hidden wisdom, from the Anunnaki scribes and Egyptian hierophants, through Greek initiates and Vedic rishis, to the medieval alchemists and mystic orders. We have seen why these truths were cloaked in secrecy, safeguarded behind initiation and ritual, and concealed within layered symbolism. Now, having unearthed the roots of the lineage, we stand ready to explore the living blueprint itself, unlocking the principles and practices that will reawaken your dormant divinity. Imagine this: somewhere deep within you, beneath the layers of conditioning, identity, and inherited belief, there lies a structure, not made of bone or blood, but of light and vibration. It is the divine blueprint. This is not poetry. It is a metaphysical architecture, encoded into the very fabric of your being, waiting to be awakened. The ancient initiates knew this well. In Egypt, it was called the Ka and Ba, the twin aspects of soul and spirit. In Kabbalistic thought, it is the Adam Kadmon, the archetype of divine humanity, the perfect form we are all destined to realize. In the East, it is the Purusha, the eternal self who merely witnesses the illusions of the material world. But what does it mean to unlock the God within? To understand this, you must first dismantle a dangerous illusion, the belief that you are merely human. Flesh, mind, name, role, these are costumes worn by the immortal spark. You are not the character. You are the consciousness writing the script. The three veils of amnesia. The first veil is identification, the belief that you are your story. From birth, we are given names, roles, languages, and traumas. We become so entangled in these surface-level scripts that we forget the author within. The second veil is separation, the belief that divinity is external. Centuries of religious dogma have taught us that God lives in the sky, in temples, or behind gates guarded by priests. But the ancient mystics all agreed, you are the temple. The third veil is limitation, the belief that your abilities are fixed. We are told to obey the laws of physics, biology, society, but every mystic who ever crossed the threshold of awakening reports the same truth. You are not bound by these laws once you transcend the egoic self. Here's the mystery unveiled. You are a fractal of the infinite, a self-replicating echo of Source. Like a hologram, each piece contains the whole. You do not need to become divine. You simply need to remember that you already are. The inner temple, as above, so below. Within you is a sacred architecture. Think of your spine as the tree of life, its base grounded in matter, its crown rooted in infinity. The chakras are not just energy centers, they are gateways. Each one corresponds not just to glands and emotions, but to states of consciousness, from primal survival to cosmic unity. This is why Egyptian mystery schools aligned their initiates with the Jed pillar, the symbolic spine of Osiris, which represented resurrection through spiritual alignment. To awaken the God within, you must raise your awareness from base instinct to divine will, just as the Kundalini serpent coils upward, igniting each inner flame. But here's the catch: awakening is not an escape, it is a return. It is not about becoming supernatural, but superconscious. It is about reclaiming what was always yours. This is the essence of gnosis, direct, inner knowing. No guru, no savior, no external path can hand this to you. The key has always been in your own hands. The mirror and the fire. The moment you look within, not just with thought, but with sacred attention, you begin to sense it, a flicker behind the eyes, a stillness beneath the thoughts, a silent watcher who is ancient, vast, and boundless. That is the God seed. It does not shout. It whispers. But once seen, it cannot be unseen. This is why mystics warned, know thyself, and you shall know the gods. The divine is not out there. It is the mirror and the fire inside you. And to awaken it, you must turn inward, not with fear, but with reverence. In the next part, we will explore the deeper mechanisms of this awakening, the paradoxes that guard the inner gate, the hidden meanings behind ancient myths, and why many fail just before they cross the threshold. The path is not easy. But you were never meant to walk it as a mere mortal. As we venture deeper into this sacred mystery, prepare to face the paradox at the heart of awakening. To find the God within, you must surrender the self you think you are. This is the crucible of transformation, the alchemical fire that forges true divinity from the raw ore of human consciousness. The paradox of the self, creator and creation. Ancient wisdom teaches that the self is both creator and creation, a cosmic dance of opposites that confounds logic but reveals profound truth. You are simultaneously the sculptor and the clay, the wave and the ocean. The Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, extends beyond mere metaphor. It is an instruction to recognize that your inner cosmos reflects the macrocosm. The divine spark within is not a fragment lost to the void but the very essence that animates all existence. Yet, herein lies a subtle trap. Many seekers become enthralled by the idea of godhood, and fall prey to egoic inflation, the false light that masquerades as true illumination. This is the shadow side of awakening: pride, control, and spiritual materialism. Genuine divinity is marked by humility, silence, and surrender. It is not a throne to be seized but a presence to be realized. Ancient myths, veils of hidden wisdom. Consider the myth of Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods only to suffer eternal torment. This tale warns us that divine power without wisdom is destructive. The fire of the divine must be tempered with conscious will, discipline, and compassion. Or look to the story of the phoenix, who cyclically dies in flames only to rise reborn from ashes. This is the metaphor for the death of the ego self and the resurrection of the higher self, a necessary alchemy to unlock your inner God. Across cultures, these myths encode the essential stages of awakening: descent into the shadow, purification by fire, and emergence into radiant consciousness. The Kundalini and the cosmic serpent. In the East, the serpent symbolizes Kundalini, coiled energy at the base of the spine, representing dormant divine potential. Awakening Kundalini is akin to lighting a fuse that ascends the spine, opening the chakras and transforming the body into a temple of light. However, Kundalini is no casual awakening. If rushed or mishandled, it can cause imbalance or disorientation. The ancient yogis taught preparation through ethical living, breath control, and meditative focus, reminding us that unlocking divinity is a process, not an event. Hidden mechanics, the inner gatekeepers. Between the ordinary self and the awakened God self stand inner gatekeepers, psychic and spiritual thresholds that test readiness. These may appear as intense emotional upheaval, visions, or existential crises. They guard the sacred chambers of the soul, ensuring only the prepared may enter. Why does this knowledge remain hidden for so long? Because the path to divinity is not a shortcut or a surface-level transformation. It requires piercing through illusions, shedding false identities, and embracing profound responsibility. Little-known insights. The voice of God, ancient texts describe, is not a booming external deity but the still, small voice of awakened consciousness within. The light body, or Merkaba, is more than spiritual jargon. It is a vibrational field surrounding the physical body, accessible through deep meditative practice, enabling multidimensional awareness. Alchemical symbols like the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail, represent the eternal cycle of death and rebirth necessary for divine awakening. These concepts are not mystic fluff. They are keys encoded in metaphor and symbol for those ready to unlock the doors. The unspoken truth. You will never find the God within by chasing external powers or clinging to transient identities. The path is inward, through paradox, silence, and surrender. Now that we have peeled back the layers of ancient wisdom and explored the profound mysteries guarding the God within, it's time to bring this knowledge into your daily life. Awakening is not a distant myth but a living, breathing process, one that you can begin right now with simple yet powerful practices. Cultivate sacred attention, the gateway to inner knowing. The first step is learning to observe yourself with gentle curiosity and unwavering presence. This isn't passive watching, but an active turning inward, like a flame focusing sunlight to ignite a spark. Begin by setting aside quiet moments each day to sit in stillness. Close your eyes and simply notice the flow of your breath. As thoughts arise, watch them without judgment, as clouds passing across the vast sky of your mind. This practice is called mindfulness, but here it serves a higher purpose, to awaken the silent witness within you, the seed of divinity that never sleeps. Over time, this inner observer will grow stronger, allowing you to discern the voice of your higher self amidst the noise of the ego. Align your energy centers, the inner temple ritual. Drawing from the ancient wisdom of the chakras and Egyptian jed pillar, focus on aligning your energy centers. Starting at the base of your spine, imagine a glowing golden light slowly rising upward, passing through each chakra like a radiant thread weaving your inner temple together. Visualize each center opening like a lotus flower, blossoming in vibrant color. You can enhance this by chanting simple mantras corresponding to each chakra's frequency, or by using breathwork to awaken and balance these energy vortices. This process stirs the Kundalini energy, the cosmic serpent coiled in your core, gently awakening the God force within without forcing it. Practice sacred journaling, dialogue with the divine self. Writing can be a sacred ritual, a direct conversation with your inner God. Each day, write freely about your thoughts, dreams, and experiences, especially those moments when you sense something beyond yourself. Over time, patterns and insights emerge, revealing the subtle guidance of your awakened consciousness. Ask yourself questions like, what does my divine self want me to know today? Or, what illusions am I ready to release? Let the pen move without censorship. Embrace the shadow, integration as transformation. No awakening is complete without facing your shadow, the parts of yourself you've hidden or denied. This may be uncomfortable but is essential. Look honestly at fears, doubts, or past wounds. See them not as curses, but as invitations for growth. Use techniques such as shadow journaling, inner dialogue, or guided meditations designed to integrate these aspects lovingly. Remember, the divine spark within includes the whole spectrum of your being, light and dark, creation and destruction. Embracing both is the path to wholeness. Ritual and symbol. Create your personal sacred space. The ancients used ritual to mark transitions and to focus the mind on sacred work. You too can create simple rituals, lighting a candle, burning incense, or arranging crystals that resonate with your intention. Use symbols, like the Ouroboros, the lotus, or the Eye of Horus, to remind yourself daily of your divine nature. These acts ground the awakening in the physical world and strengthen the energetic pathways between your conscious and divine self. Overcoming obstacles, patience and compassion. Awakening the God within is not a race. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, or fear. When these arise, practice compassion toward yourself. Seek community, like-minded souls who honor your path, and consider guidance from trusted teachers or mentors who respect your autonomy. Beware of quick fixes, spiritual shortcuts, or external authorities promising instant enlightenment. The true unlocking comes through steady, humble dedication. The transformation begins here. By committing to these practices, you begin to dissolve the veils of amnesia and limitation. Your consciousness expands beyond the confines of the ego, awakening dormant faculties of intuition, creativity, and profound peace. Step by step, day by day, you will find yourself inhabiting a new reality, one where the God within is no longer hidden but shines forth as your true identity. You have journeyed from the echoing halls of ancient temples to the silent chambers of your own heart. You've traced the lineage of hidden wisdom, from the Anunnaki scribes and Vedic rishis to the Hermetic masters and Sufi poets, only to discover that the greatest temple lies within you. You've seen how the divine blueprint is encoded in your very spine, how the three veils of identification, separation, and limitation obscure your true nature, and how myths like Prometheus and the Phoenix mirror your own path of descent and rebirth. Through sacred attention, inner temple rituals, shadow integration, and symbolic ceremonies, you've learned practical keys to begin dissolving the veils. You now know that awakening the God within is neither an act of transcendence away from life nor a conquest of supernatural powers. It is a return to your original, timeless identity. It is the recollection of who you always were, long before your name was spoken or your story began. As you move forward, remember that this process unfolds in its own divine rhythm. There will be days of blazing clarity and nights of seeming darkness, and each is a necessary beat in the great pulse of your own becoming. Embrace both with equal reverence, for the light knows itself through the shadow, and the shadow reveals itself through the light. So here is your invitation. Keep turning inward with courage and devotion. Let each breath be a prayer, each thought a key, each heartbeat a drum calling you home. The God within you does not demand perfection, it asks only for presence. And now, as you stand at the threshold of your own divinity, ask yourself, when will you step fully into the radiant power that has always been yours? If you're ready to deepen this journey, share your experiences below, and join our circle of seekers committed to reclaiming the lost wisdom of our ancestors. The path awaits. The spark is alight. Will you answer the call?